I had never felt more alone and vulnerable than that fateful night of babysitting. The children, Lucy and Max, were tucked in their beds, and I settled in the luxurious house, wondering how I had landed this well-paying gig. The parents were off for a weekend getaway, leaving me in charge. The house was spacious, with dark hallways that seemed to stretch on forever. My only company was a picture of the smiling family on the wall, and their voices echoed in my mind. The evening had started peacefully. I watched TV, checked my phone, and enjoyed the comfort of the sprawling mansion. But as the clock struck midnight, everything changed. The intercom buzzed, startling me. It was Lucy's trembling voice. "I hear strange noises, Emily. Can you come check?" My heart raced as I made my way to Lucy's room. She was scared and pointed towards the window, convinced she had heard footsteps. I tried to calm her down, assuring her it was just her imagination. Returning to the living room, I dismissed her fears until the intercom crackled again. This time it was Max. "Emily, there's someone in the house." My blood ran cold. I told Max to hide with Lucy. Then I cautiously crept down the dark hallway. The strange noises became more distinct, like someone shuffling through the house. Panic overwhelmed me, and I grabbed my phone, ready to dial 911. Suddenly, a sinister whisper echoed from the shadows. "You should have left when you had the chance." I spun around to find a masked intruder, a chilling smile visible under the dim moonlight. My heart hammered in my chest, and I fumbled with my phone, dialing 911 as I retreated. The intruder lunged, and I screamed, adrenaline surging through my veins. As the operator answered, I desperately told her about the intruder and our location. Every second felt like an eternity as the intruder closed in, his grin growing wider. The dispatcher assured me help was on the way, and I raced back to the kids' room. With trembling hands, I locked the door, urging Lucy and Max to stay silent. The intruder pounded on the door, demanding to be let in. Minutes felt like hours as we waited for the police. The intruder's threats grew more unsettling, and the children clung to me, terrified. When the sirens wailed in the distance, the intruder vanished into the night, leaving us trembling and horrified. The police arrived in search of the house, but the intruder was gone. We were safe, but the trauma of that night would stay with us forever. As the police took our statements, I couldn't help but think about that chilling whisper. "You should have left when you had the chance." The advice I have for anyone in a similar situation is this: trust your instincts and don't dismiss strange noises. It's better to be safe than sorry, and never underestimate the power of fear when you're alone in the dark. It was a warm summer evening when I decided to escape the chaos of the city and head into the deep woods for a solo camping trip. With my loyal dog, Max, by my side, I thought I was in for a relaxing weekend of fishing and solitude. Little did I know, my peaceful retreat would soon become a living nightmare. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the woods came alive with eerie sounds. Twigs snapped, leaves rustled, and the wind whispered through the trees. I felt a growing unease as I set up my campsite near a tranquil lake. Max, usually fearless, seemed on edge, his ears perked and growls escaping his throat. Hours passed, and the darkness deepened. Just as I was about to call it a night, I heard it, a faint, distant chant like a sinister choir. Goosebumps prickled my skin, and I fumbled for my flashlight. The chant grew louder, drawing closer, yet it was impossible to decipher the words. Terrified, I clutched Max's collar and shone the light into the woods. The sight that met my eyes froze my blood. A group of shadowy figures, draped in tattered cloaks, stood in a circle, chanting in a language that sent shivers down my spine. I could feel their malevolent energy seeping into the air. My heart pounded as I stumbled back to my campsite, panic bubbling in my chest. That's when I saw him, a man, pale and disheveled, standing just beyond the fear light. He had wild, vacant eyes and whispered, "They come for you." Before I could react, the figures in the woods fell silent. Then, a blood-curdling scream pierced the darkness. It was a scream of anguish and despair, echoing through the trees, resonating in my very soul. The cloaked figures vanished into the night, leaving only their haunting chant lingering in the air. Terror-stricken, I packed up my camp in record time, dragging Max with me, and fled into the inky woods. The horrors I'd witnessed haunted my dreams for weeks, and I never returned to that accursed place. As I share my story, I urge you, dear listener, to heed my warning. Nature can hold dark secrets, and there are places best left unexplored. Camping may offer serenity, but the wilderness can also be a realm of unimaginable terrors. Stay vigilant and never venture into the woods alone, for the unknown may be lurking just beyond the firelight, waiting to claim you as its next victim. It was a dark and stormy night, rain pelting against the windows of my split-level house. I was home alone, nestled in my room, wrapped in a cozy blanket. The eerie glow of the TV illuminated my face as I watched a scary movie. But the unsettling feeling of being alone on this ominous night never left me. As the movie reached its climax, a sudden noise downstairs made me jump. It was as though someone had dropped a heavy book. I paused the movie and strained my ears, listening intently. More sounds followed, the creaking of a floorboard and faint, echoing footsteps. My heart raced as I considered the possibility of an intruder. Fear gripped me, and I clutched the remote tightly, debating whether to call 911 or investigate. It felt like an eternity before I summoned the courage to slowly make my way downstairs. The air grew colder as I descended into the darkness. My pulse quickened with every step, and I wished I had someone there with me. My flashlight revealed nothing out of the ordinary. I was beginning to think it was just my imagination when I heard a faint whisper from the corner of the room. Turning, I shone the light toward the sound. What I saw sent shivers down my spine. A stranger stood there, a silhouette in the darkness. Their eyes locked onto mine, and they didn't move, just watching, waiting. Panic surged through me, and I fumbled to dial 911. My trembling voice tried to explain the situation to the dispatcher. They assured me help was on the way, but time seemed to stand still as the intruder remained motionless. The minutes crawled by, and the tension in the room was unbearable. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the stranger. It was only when I heard sirens approaching that the figure turned and disappeared into the shadows. The police arrived, searched the house, but found no trace of the intruder. They assured me I was safe, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. As I sat in my room trying to regain my composure, I received a text message. It was a photo of me, taken from outside my window. My blood ran cold, and I realized the true horror of the situation. The intruder was still out there somewhere. My advice to you, dear listener, don't hesitate to call for help if you feel something is wrong. And remember, even in the safety of your home, you are never truly alone.